Broncos Country, what is poppin', man? It's your boy Mark here with Marcky Sports. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. We are talking Broncos offensive line today in the State of the Union series. We have broken down the wide receivers. We have talked about, the tight ends as well in this particular room. So today we're going to go about the offensive line, and this was by far and away the best unit on the offensive side of the ball, bar none. I love it. So we're going to get right into it, guys. Like and subscribe if you're not already, and let's just dive right in. So this is one of the things that I love to see, man, and it's not the new electric Rogue, I could tell you that. But per Pro Football Network, as you can see here, the Denver Broncos were ranked the number one offensive line with a regular season grade of 99.5, which is insane, absolutely insane. But you can see, and I don't know why this website just likes to do this sometimes. It seems like that's always going to be the thing, but obviously, we know about it. The Broncos offensive line as a unit was one of the highest. I think they were ranked the highest in terms of run block win rate, or at least one of the top units. They were also one of the top units in pass block win rate as well. So unbelievable. They had a pressure rate of 28.3% and a sack rate of 4%, which were excellent really across the board. And Bo Nix was averaging the fifth highest time to throw at 3.03 seconds. So just an unbelievably good unit overall. The continuities obviously helped. They are now going into the third year together as a unit. With the exception of Luke Wattenberg as the starter, but he's made some big strides. So great line. And what's awesome about what we have here in Broncos Country is that all of these guys are returning, man. Every single one of them will be returning for the Denver Broncos this upcoming season. So let's go ahead and just break down the starters, right? We'll give it a grade. Obviously, we're giving it a grade of an A. I don't give things an A+ very much. So there's no A+ here because I think that there is still a little bit of room for improvement. We could obviously always be better, right? We could be better at center. I think Ben Powers could also be better, especially given the amount of money that we're paying them. But overall, such a great unit, man. Garett Bolles, one of the guys in Broncos Country that I probably have the most respect for of all the Broncos players. Obviously, he had lots of downs and a lot of up years, and I think he's just doing such a good job later on in his career, as every year goes, of just being such a solid blindside protector. We know left tackle is an unbelievably important position, and he's allowed us not only the opportunity to have continuity and have a really upper tier left tackle, but he's done so at massively reduced rates, team-friendly deals for the Broncos. So you got to love that. Ben Powers, of course, in Sean Payton's first year here was one of the big prized free agent signings here. Listen, he's been really solid. I don't think he's been over the top great, but he's definitely been good enough, especially in the run game. But just a solid overall left guard. And yeah, we're paying him quite a bit. He's counting against the cap quite a bit this year because we, moved some dead money to open up some cap space last year. But I still think he's fine. I think he's been really, really good there. Like what Ben Powers gives us at left guard. And he's someone that I think is getting better and better. And as he continues to get coached up by this wonderful staff, we'll be able to get better there. Luke Wattenberg, this is the big debate, man. This is the big debate. And one thing I want to say about Luke Wattenberg is it has been a joy watching him make serious strides as a player since he was drafted in the 5th round, in the Hackett year. He was awful in the preseason and in the offseason, really. In his rookie year, he was terrible. You saw some really bad reps, really bad things. I thought maybe he wasn't going to be able to play at all in this league. And from year 1 to year 2, he makes a massive leap. An absolutely massive leap to where you can see he was just playing so much better. And then he finally, this past season, gets an opportunity to be our starting center after we had let, I'm blanking on the name now, our old center leave. This always happens when I press play. But anyways, since we had let him go, he's taken over the starting center role, and he's been solid. He's definitely had his moments in run game, as a run blocker. That's where he definitely has area for improvement. I think with, like I said, all the experience that he got last year, with being able to get stronger and better and more technically sound, there's no reason to think that he can't become one of the better centers in the NFL just because of the crazy strides that he's been taking every single year. And so that's something that you got to love, man. And his development has been imperative for this team. And because, when we had a huge need at center, he stepped up. We had drafted Alex Forsyth as well. That was a battle, but really, at the end of the battle in camp last year, Sean Payton had said it wasn't really much of a battle there. Luke Wattenberg just killed it for him and won that job. So he's very good in pass pro, can definitely take strides as a run protector, and I think he can. And so love me some Luke Wattenberg there. And then here's the real strength of our O-line, man. And that is the belly himself, Quinn Meinerz, who had cut his hair. So a little bit, a little heartbreaking. I liked the old hairstyle that he had, but now he had cut it. But easily one of the best guards, a top 3 guard in the NFL. You can make the argument that he is the best guard. What a story. 3rd round pick out of Wisconsin Whitewater. He didn't even play in the year that he was drafted in 2020 due to the COVID. He gets invited to the Senior Bowl anyways and just absolutely dominates. Playing center, playing guard, dominates everybody, puts himself, on the map, and ultimately gets drafted by us in the 3rd round. A lot of people thought it was a reach, but George Payton absolutely crushed it, man. Quinn Meinerz has become one of the best guards in football. He got paid handsomely last offseason, very much deserving of that. And you just got to love it. And then Mike McGlinchey, again, another veteran guy, a prize free agent signing once Sean Payton landed here. Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey are both signed together. It was massively smart because, as Sean Payton had said after this last presser of week 2 of OTAs, he said, our O-line is what sets the tone for this entire team. And he's absolutely right, because he had said, if you don't have a good O-line, you don't know how good your defensive line is. But if you've got a really good offensive line, then you're setting a really good measuring tool to be able to get an understanding of where the trenches on both sides of the ball are. And yeah, this unit has been dominant. They've been solid. They've gotten better every single year that they've all been working together. And Mike McGlinchey's really made a lot of strides as well, right? He's one of the guys that also has a little bit of, he's got some vulnerabilities in the pass game, which he's cleaned up and he's gotten a lot better at, but dominated in the run game. That right side with Quinn Meinerz and Mike McGlinchey is an unbelievably strong and dominant side of the football to really be able to run and rely upon. So overall, super solid. Obviously, I give them an A grade. You can maybe say B+, but one of the best units in all of football. And I'm just very excited that we get to get all 5 starters returning again this year, playing together. It's going to be massive for Bo Nix and his development going into year 2. Because the O-line, it all starts with the O-line always. The O-line, if they're bad, the quarterback's bad, the receivers are bad. It's a terrible trickle-down effect. And the opposite is true if they're very good. Love this unit. Broncos Country should obviously be thrilled with it. Now, when you go into the depth, this is where it gets very interesting. And this is actually where I've really grown to like this, right? Because, the injury rate in the NFL is 100%. Guys are going to go down, right? Mike McGlinchey missed a couple games last year. What happens? Alex Polcheski comes in and plays very well for those 4 games, filling in for him, right? And so guys are going to get hurt, and you want to be able to, have guys that can step up. So, here's kind of the deal. We got the interior depth guys. We've got the tackles, right? So you've got Alex Forsyth, who is the backup center as it currently stands. He can obviously play both guard positions if needed. Joe Michalski, Clay Webb, 2 undrafted free agents, very highly talked about. I think it's going to be interesting to see how both those guys perform in camp. I see Clay Webb as having a very, very good chance of making this team, and it's because he's got center and guard versatility. But he is going to push Alex Forsyth. You better believe that when it comes to a roster spot for this team. And then you got the returning veteran Calvin Throckmorton. I think he's going to be more of a camp body, somebody that obviously has history with Sean Payton. You can sneak him in, put him on the practice squad if you need a veteran presence there. But he's there. We got to mention it, right? And then the tackles, this is where it gets interesting. Oh, I forgot to put Gargiulo as well here, the 6th round pick from last year. He's someone that'll come in and compete on the interior after he was on the practice squad last year. So my apologies. I did forget to put my guy, Nick Gargiulo, or however the hell you say his last name, in here as well. And then in the tackles, you've got Frank Crum. I'm fascinated to see what kind of strides Frank Crum makes in year 2, right? Because very similar to Luke Wattenberg in his rookie season, he struggled a lot in the preseason, specifically in the pass game. But he made the team. There wasn't much of a question about it. They did not feel like they could have snuck him onto the practice squad, and that's because Sean Payton said he is an elite run blocker. He is elite in the run game. Obviously has a lot of development that he needed to do. So we'll see how he looks going into year 2. But he's a fascinating project because he's got all the talent in the world, man. We've talked about Frank Crum a lot. He's got ridiculous talent. The fact that he's already so good in the pass in the run game is very positive. If he can make strides, you're looking at somebody that could be the future left or right tackle of this team once the time comes. Alex Bolcheski, again, another unbelievably solid player. You saw him play in those 4 games. He's just technically sound. He's just really good, right? Does he have a crazy high ceiling like Frank Crum? No. But can he come in and start in a pinch? Yes, he proved that. So you got to love it. The only interesting thing that I would say here that there's a little bit of confusion with is, is Frank Crum being developed to be a left tackle? Is he developed to be a right tackle, right? He played right tackle for a majority of his college career before he moved over to left tackle his senior year. Alex Bolcheski's always been a right tackle, so I think that's the vision for him. So we'll see. Because right now, as it currently stands, I would say Matt Pert is probably the swing guy, or at least the backup left tackle for Garett Bolles should anything happen to him. It would probably be Matt Pert right now, but we'll see how that changes as camp goes on. And then you've got a couple other undrafted guys, Marquez Cox, Xavier Truss. Xavier Truss specifically, another guy we got undrafted this year that I think can really push to make this roster for sure. Big guy, played in the SEC, lots of experience in college. And he's played both interior, he's played, both guard positions, and he's also played in tackle. So we'll see. I think he projects more to be a tackle because of his length, but we will see there. But overall, guys, the Broncos' offensive line depth is incredible. It's a wonderful unit. It's a unit that we should all be thrilled about, that I know I'm really excited. And these are the guys that set the tone, man, and how dominant can they be, right, moving forward. And I just hope that we have a running back this year. I hope R.J. Harvey, or if we end up signing J.K. Dobbins, or, hopefully Audric Estime takes a big step. I just hope that these running backs can really give the love that this offensive line deserves. Because if you looked at the way that we ran the ball last year, a lot of people would say, well, they must have a really bad run blocking O-line and a bunch of bad running backs. But that wasn't the case. We just had a lot of bad running backs. Our O-line did their job. I hope that they can get the credit that they deserve this upcoming year, man. So kudos to them. But how we feeling, man? How we feeling about the offensive line? Are there any moves that you'd like to see the team make? Maybe from a depth perspective, or is there anywhere you feel like they could upgrade? I certainly do not see a lot of holes, and I don't see a lot of weaknesses up and down this entire offensive line group. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, man. Till the next video, go Broncos, baby, and peace.